I apologize for what happened that night. Um, I didn't do nothing, but I do apologize for what happened.
LaPortia Cobb, lovingly known as Nay to her family and friends, was a vibrant 35-year-old woman whose life was rooted in love, purpose, and ambition. A devoted mother of three, a cherished wife and daughter, LaPortia was deeply family-oriented and known for the warmth and loyalty she brought to every relationship. A proud graduate of Greenwood High School, she dedicated her career to caring for others, working as a certified nursing assistant at Lindley Park Post-Acute. Determined to grow in her field, she was also attending Piedmont Technical College with aspirations of becoming a licensed practical nurse. Beyond healthcare, LaPortia was multi-talented. She was an accomplished nail technician, had recently celebrated the opening of her very own boutique, and had a natural eye for fashion. Her style was bold, creative, and uniquely hers, often admired by those around her. A gifted cook and passionate baker, she found joy in the kitchen and loved sharing meals with her loved ones. LaPortia shared a deeply loving and supportive relationship with her wife, one built on trust, laughter, and mutual respect. Like many others excited to commemorate Juneteenth, she stepped out that evening looking forward to a joyful night of celebration and community. Tragically, what was meant to be a night of happiness would soon take a devastating turn. Around 7 on the evening of June 19th, what began as a community celebration quickly turned into a scene of chaos and tragedy. Anderson County Sheriff's deputies responded to reports of a shooting at a large gathering.
Authorities say
in a
hundreds of people were in the
Scarborough
area
Road.
for a Juneteenth
When they
event.
arrived, they were met with
Surrounding
panic
roads
and
were lined
confusion.
with parked
Dozens
cars,
of people
later
scrambling for
illuminated
safety,
by flashing
cries
lights.
for help echoing through the night. Amid the
One by
turmoil,
one
multiple
vehicles were
individuals
towed
were found
away,
suffering from
including a
gunshot
state
wounds.
highway patrol
Among them
cruiser
was an
after a
unresponsive
witness
adult
said it was
female.
reportedly struck while helping
County Sheriff's Office says hundreds of people were gathered near a VFW in the city of Anderson when a fight broke out in the street. Shots were fired. The Sheriff's Office says at least 10 people were shot and hundreds of others scattered, leaving shoes and debris in the road. They say the crowd had gathered there for a Juneteenth celebration.
One of the victims was identified as 35-year-old LaPortia Cobb, who tragically succumbed to a gunshot wound to the abdomen and was pronounced dead at the scene. Another individual was airlifted to Greenville Memorial Hospital in critical condition, while 8 others were transported to area hospitals, 2 of whom suffered serious injuries. The shootings occurred during what was meant to be a joyous Juneteenth celebration, commemorating the end of slavery in the United States. A federal holiday that honors freedom, resilience, and African American history. Throughout the day, several hundred people had gathered peacefully for music, food, and community fellowship at a local event hall. However, as night fell, a fight reportedly broke out in the parking lot. The altercation escalated rapidly, culminating in gunfire that tore through the crowd. In response to the crisis, more than 100 law enforcement officers and emergency personnel were dispatched to the scene. Investigators quickly began canvassing the area, collecting evidence
in the
and
city of
interviewing
Anderson,
witnesses.
when a fight broke
Early
out
reports
in the
identified
street.
3 teenage
Shots were
boys
fired.
as persons
The
of
Sheriff's
interest
Office
in
says at
connection with
least
the shooting.
10 people
At
were
this
shot
time,
and
officials do
debris
not
in
believe
the
the
road.
violence was politically
They say
motivated.
the crowd had gathered there
The
for
news
a
of LaPortia's
Juneteenth
death sent
celebration.
shockwaves through the Anderson community and beyond. Family, friends, co-workers, and neighbors were left grappling with an unimaginable loss, stunned, heartbroken, and seeking answers. How could a night meant to honor freedom and progress end in such senseless tragedy? Cameron Goss, 18, T.L. Hollings, 18, and Kietis Gear, 19, all residents of Anderson, were formally charged with murder and 9 counts of assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature. The charges stem from the deadly gunfire that erupted during a large celebration on Scarborough Road, sending shockwaves through the community. All 3 suspects appeared in court just days after the shooting. Seated on a courthouse bench, LaPortia Cobb's family watched the proceedings with visible emotion. Grief, anger, and disbelief etched into their faces as each young man stood before the judge. Ultimately, bond was denied for all 3. One of the accused, T.L. Hollings, was identified as a student at Westside High School in Anderson School District 5, where he was also a member of the basketball team. At just 18 years old, Hollings was only weeks away from beginning his senior year when he was charged with murder, an abrupt and tragic detour for a young man once seen as having a promising future. The community now finds itself grappling with multiple layers of loss: the devastating death of a beloved woman, the trauma endured by the wounded and their families, and the startling realization that those charged with the crime are barely out of high school themselves.
18-year-old Kamyron Goss and 19-year-old Kiadius Gear were arrested and charged yesterday. 18-year-old Tyel Hollings, who was denied bond Monday, was also in court again.
Our Nate Stanley was in bond court this afternoon. He has more on the judge's decision.
The courtroom was an emotional one this afternoon as LaPortia Cobb's family spoke to the judge. Bond was denied for all three suspects.
LaPortia was a good mother, a good person. Life got stolen from her.
A heartbroken family entered the Anderson County Bond Court, still grieving the loss of LaPortia Cobb. She was murdered Saturday in Anderson after deputies say three suspects fired into a crowd of people celebrating Juneteenth, also injuring 9 others.
I'm disappointed as a culture that, hard as we have had to fight throughout our life, that it was disrespected in such a way by the actions of the 3 young men.
Investigators say 19-year-old Kiadius Gear and 18-year-olds Kamyron Goss and Tyel Hollins were responsible. Each is charged with murder and 9 counts of assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature. Gear and Goss denied any wrongdoing.
I just want to state that I'm innocent, and I hope y'all find the real person that did this.
I apologize for what happened that night. I didn't do nothing, but I do apologize for what happened to our family and all the other people that were shot.
And you have 9 counts of assault and battery of high and aggravated nature.
A judge denied bond for all their assault charges, saying a circuit court judge would need to decide bond on the murder charges. Cobb's family, who asked to remain off camera, is hoping they will be held responsible.
We lost somebody that was precious to us, and since Portia's no longer with us, she can't come back to us, I feel that they took a life, they should forfeit their life, whether that's the death penalty or life in prison with no parole.
LaPortia Cobb was laid to rest in Greenwood, South Carolina, surrounded by family and friends who came together to honor her life, mourn her loss, and celebrate the joy, love, and strength she brought to those around her. Her memory lives on in the hearts of all who knew her. The lesson of the story of LaPortia Cobb is that community celebrations must be protected spaces, free from violence, where lives are honored, not lost. This tragedy reminds us of the urgent need for stronger public safety measures, conflict prevention, and community accountability to ensure that gatherings rooted in freedom and unity don't end in heartbreak. It's a call to turn grief into action by fostering safer, more peaceful environments where every person can celebrate without fear.